Welcome back. I'm MTG Joe, and we're here today with a budget build. So something we did a lot on the channel before, Throne of Eldraine came out, and everything was rare or mythic. It made it quite difficult for us to do these budget builds. Also just a shrinking card pool post-rotation. So if you like this type of content, there'll be a lot more once the new set, Theros Beyond, comes out. Generally, when you have a wider pool of cards, you can have more kind of budgety decks. So generally what we try to do when we make a caveat of budget is 10 rares, mythics combined or less. Obviously when you're doing multicolor decks, some components of this are going to be your dual lands. So this one here is Dimir, so blue and black. It is a discard themed deck and it is 10 rares, mythics. So the whole kind of concept of the deck is to eat away at our opponent's hand. With all these flash decks going around to fairy decks, if you can get cards out of their hands, they can't really do too much. So the way we do this is we have kind of the discard duos. Burglar Rat enters the battlefield, opponent discards a card. Fenlurker enters the battlefield, opponent exiles a card. So this gets cards out of your opponent's hand. You have Thought Erasure, which is dedicated hand hate. Basically take whatever you want from their hand. And then you have cards like Davriel, which serves dual purpose in the deck. It is a way to force the opponent to discard, but also if they have one or less cards in hand, it deals 2 damage. So it's kind of a discard and win condition. We do have a number of cards which do have the surveil mechanic, so that pairs with Disinformation Campaign. So when this enters the battlefield, opponents discard a card, and when you surveil, you return it to your hand. And you get to recycle that, and it also draws you a card. So you have stuff like Thought Erasure Surveil, Discovery Surveil, and that's pretty much it. So 8 Surveil cards. You also have the Dispersal part, which can bounce something and force them to discard. Then from removal, we have counter removal and Drown in the Loch, which gets powered throughout the discard. A couple Murderous Riders. Obviously, if you have more, it's probably better to play more. A couple of Nixilis Cruelty as just kind of a budgety removal spell, as well as exile. Gets rid of Questing Beast, for example. And then into the story refills our hand. We're going to be filling our opponent's graveyard. This gives us more gas after we kind of get through the initial wave. And the ways we win, Davriel, but most likely either Lochmere Serpent. Flash it in, give it unblockable, draw cards, and exile cards from your opponent's graveyard to get it back. And Liliana Dreadhorde General, create zombies, force them to sack, stuff of that nature. And then for the mana base, we got Dismal Backwaters as our budget duels. We don't have Scrylands anyways in this color. 4 Watery Graves and 2 Castle Locthwain, another way to draw some cards. So I'm going to play this as a best of 1 deck. We can play ranked. I just got up to Diamond Tier 4, so I'll try to grind out some games there. As always, if you do enjoy the content, feel free to subscribe on YouTube, follow on Twitch. Both are free and easy ways to show your support. As always, if you're purchasing cards from TCG Player, in the video description on YouTube, I have an affiliate link. That can be, you can click the link, follow it through, do your purchase as normal, just lets them know that you came from the site. And finally, if I still have some codes left from Wizards hosting the stream last week, 2 weeks ago now, I'll put them in the video description once it's up on YouTube. They are first come, first serve codes, single use. So if you get lucky, you can get some free packs of Throne of Eldraine. So this hand's fine. Would like to get obviously a campaign going. This will be an interesting matchup versus what's likely mono red. We might just get run over. So here, let's just go Burgie. This forces a discard. So next turn, we probably just Nixilis Cruelty the Steamkin. So I put the damage on Steamkin just in case they had another spell. Dismal Backwater is not bad as a follow-up. I'm going to do this now so they don't get the mana from it. They can hit us for 4 here. Probably just going to backwater here. And then before combat, we'll drown in the Loch. So we're doing this before combat only because they don't get the pump this way. So they deal 1 damage instead of 2. With the life we gain from the land, it basically fogs for a turn. Okay, so they'll light up a stage and to light up the stage. Wow. Opponent has been unlucky. I will give him that. So let's go Davriel here. That's Rimrock Knight. Here. Just gonna get rid of the Steamkin. Probably want some action at this point. They just shock here. So I don't want a negative on Liliana because they have the shock in hand. So even if they shock this and attack Liliana or us, if they attack us, then we're close to dead. Yeah. Getting the removal. Burglar Rat's good as a blocker here. Torbrand out of the hand. We're obviously dead to any burn spell at this point. We gotta kill this. So block like this. Drown in the Loch's nice because it's a counter. Let's just try to ultimate Liliana. Each opponent choose a permanent they control, and they sacrifice the rest. They don't really have a board state, so... Rimrock's fine. Like, they're kind of priced into attacking at some point, and as long as we can keep this counter up, we're fine. I'm actually just going to do this to smooth out my draw. Because they're even a mana short of Embercleave through an attack. Here we can sack. Into the Story's nice, gives us some more action. Just attacking in with 1 because they may have haste. Fervent Champion is fine. Draw 4. Let's play with Davriel. We can do this at instant speed and force him to discard something as well. One, two, three, four, five, six. So I can't do both, so we'll hang off for the turn. So Frenzy is definitely something that's the highest CMC. That's fine. So I'm doing this now. I didn't want to do it on instep in case they had like a shock. It's unfortunate our life total's so low we can't actually do anything with the castle. But they should be dead next turn. We counter whatever they play. And then they're dead. Actually pretty impressive, taking down mono red as a discard deck. That's why, like, as much as your budget, you do need a way to win these games. You're going to control the board state, but you need a way to actually close it out. The average draw when you are a budget deck versus like a tier deck, their draws will be better than yours. So once you eat away at their hand, you need a way to actually put pressure on them. This hand's fine. We have multiple ways to disrupt their hand. This could be a few decks. Okay, so Charming Prince, this is probably the blue-white kind of Fey deck that's been going around. So I'm going to Thought Erasure just to see what we're up against. Yeah, it is. So I'm actually going to get rid of the Charming Prince here. Just because that's a play they can do on 2. We don't really have a board, like a traditional board for them to deal with. So I don't care about Time Wipe or Realm Cloak Giant. Two cards. Next turn will be a third. This going in, that's actually good. It makes us drown in the Loch a lot more useful. So I took the attack there because I want to double block the Charming Prince. We do need some sort of card draw. Campaign's nice. So this forces some more discard out of them. It's fine. If they're going to veto that. So this is where we do kind of run into some headaches when they refill their hand. Okay. Realm Cloak's a 7/7. This deck probably plays Kenrith. So it probably makes sense to hold this Cruelty. They go Fae for granted. Let him search. Come on, opponent. They go Ashiok. That's fine. So they have double Realm Cloak. I don't really care about Ashiok. That refills our hand. This gets rid of the board wipe, and it gets rid of the other half of it. Then we just flash in Lochmere on their end step. They hit our Murderous Rider, which is kind of annoying. So we'll attack like this. Ooh, got rid of it to Fairy, which is nice. Losing into the story would have been a nice card to have. I'm holding this just as a bounce effect. Their hand's pretty small. They probably play like Agent of Treachery. Sacrifice Swamp, you gain 1 life, draw a card. No, that's fine. So force him to discard. So we'll take out Ashiok so she leaves us alone. And then I'll just drop down Fenlurker. Gets rid of a card from their hand. Like, even if they have a board wipe, which they do, activate this ability. Anytime you may cast a sorcery. Like, they're still taking Davriel damage. Charming Prince, Realm Cloak. Just in case they have Command the Dreadhorde. I can force them to bounce whatever they play. Oh, if that's their whole turn, then we're good. The tree fitty serpent's coming back. Just end the turn. And like the more they focus on this, or like trying to deal with our board. It's actually interesting they play the land. Well, 2-0 with the deck. Not sure how we're winning, but the discard's real. I'm going to give Arena a quick reset. Been playing quite a bit, so tends to stutter a little over time. So what I like to do with a lot of these budget decks is just showcase kind of archetypes. If you do have any questions like afterwards, once this is up on YouTube, feel free to drop in there. Really what we would highlight in kind of the modifications you would do. I would probably want like another Liliana, maybe an Ugin. Probably get rid of the Cruelties for more Murderous Riders, something of that nature. You probably want a couple Fabled Passages. But I think the archetype of the deck is pretty much sound. In that case there, like we just tore apart the opponent's hand. Against Flash, we're probably pretty well suited. Teferi decks aren't going to really want to bounce our like crappy creatures. This is an interesting hand. I think we keep. We go first. If we draw another swamp, we can go Fenlurker. If we don't, then we just go Discovery. So we're just digging for a swamp here. I may want to go another Drown in the Loch. Felt really good so far in our deck. Oh, this is not great. I think we gotta bin both. It's a land at least, so we can still go Davriel. Let's see what the opponent's got going on. Wow. Chess guy fires. Cool. There's our land. We got rid of the pig because the pig keeps coming back. Gonna go Davriel here. See what they discard. Want them to get rid of like the Flame Sweep. At least Clarion they have to tap out on their turn. Okay, I got rid of the Flame Sweep. They're off a blue from Drawn for Dreams. Okay, so they are a Fires deck. I guess Pig's a way to get around the cast condition. So we're just going to go Fenlurker, get another card out of their hand. You're a 7/7, so you can at least block Cavalier. They discard lands. They have one land discarded. I don't get why you play Flame Sweep in lieu of just Deafening Clarion. Deafening Clarion deals more damage. You can't play at instant speed anyways. Did they get rid of Cavalier? They got rid of Cavalier. Oh, this gets Trample. Yeah, this is it's a tad problematic. So see if they attack into Davriel. I'm just gonna throw the block. The good thing is they can't pump with this Cavalier, and they only have one land in the graveyard. Cool. Discard 2, gain 5 life. It's fine with me. I'm gonna wait for the block because next turn I can block. If that was untapped, that would have been nice. So we gotta get rid of Kenrith. Kenrith gives Trample, Cavalier doesn't. Next turn I have a choice, either Fenlurker and Murderous Rider or Lochmere Serpent. Lochmere might not be too bad because we can surprise them. Well, now we can't surprise them. May still just fall too far behind here. Yeah. That's Xaxes 14. Boo. 2-1. They drew the fires after the Thought Erasure. How their mana was shaping up if we got fires down. If we would have Fenlurker then Thought Erasure, we would have got them. That sounds fine. It's probably a Fires deck again. Yeah. Fire Friends. So I'm gonna go Rat first. Because if they go to Fairy this turn, this is weaker if they have Stomp. Yeah. That's fine. Hopefully catch a fires. Get rid of Sarkhan. Sarkhan's the scarier of the cards. Because they drawn for Dreams this turn. They got 2 cards in graveyard. Because we couldn't counter it anyways. That works out great. Because this will get us to counter the fires. We can also dispersal whatever big thing they have. Narset's fine. Okay, they drew their fires. They set up their shimmer. We actually can't draw a card around the Narset, so we're just going to attack into it. Rat's nice too. hopefully. Alright. So they can pop Narset off. And they get something. We'll drown in the lock them. Cool. Now these discoveries have text. This game's gone a lot smoother just because we were able to catch the fires. So they do get a reset of the Bone Crusher Giant, but it forces another card out of their hand. Interesting. I kind of want him to like use this first so then I can Davriel. Let's see what they go with. Okay, they get rid of Bone Crusher. Like this just kind of gets us in a spot where we I got Burglar Rat, Fenlurker. I need a Murderous Rider. Okay, Liliana's something. Liliana could help me catch up. So let's use Davriel as a distraction this turn, get another card out of their hand. We can't attack in. Ooh, they got rid of fires. Do they have two? So the problem is Liliana just dies. Like, at least this turn. And we're taking a bunch. So I do think we need to try to find Murderous Rider. Lochmere doesn't do much. So we can get Lochmere back. One, two. Yeah. This Sarkin's doing too much work. This turn they hit us for 12. They got Ugin. Ugin gets some more. Outgranded. Murderous Rider kinda does it. Okay, so Cruelty gets rid of that, but we still can't really do much. This keeps us alive by 1. Too late. Because, well, maybe if they attack us, if they attack Liliana, might be able to. Then I can Murderous Rider Sarkin. Because the problem is once they animate with Teferi, like they animate, Teferi stops me from being able to Cruelty them. Hopefully they get greedy. Or they don't get greedy. Okay, cool. That buys us a turn. So get rid of Sarkin. So we can block this, at least gain 2 life. We can also attack in. Ugin can down tick and hit us for 2. You can also bounce it. We're dead like 12 ways over. Interesting. Wonder, it might be... kill it, attacking for 6. It's a weird take on like you usually see one or the other. Alright, so we can't beat fires. We beat the other decks. Try one more. Give it 5 games. That matchup's tough because like I don't even know what we bring in sideboard wise. Like Noxious Grass, well, probably just negates, Disdainful Strokes, stuff like that. But when they have Teferi out, that kind of invalidates those. Can't keep the double black, triple island hand. This is fine. Mono red. So maybe worthwhile to Thought Erasure on 2 just to take out one of their action spells. Ooh. You have my interest. What is this? It's just like a cavalcade deck? They hit us for 5. Gotta get rid of Bone Crusher. It's... because I don't think there's much like... there's not like in Soul Artifact. Hit us for 5 again. Okay, so it's like a aggro tempo list. Holding up Quench seems good. kind of got to get this Quench out of their hands. Because like I don't want to drop the Murderous Rider. They hit for 6 here. I drop Murderous Rider, they hit for 5, block 2. Oh, they might play like Brazen Borer. Kind of from like a tempo play. Ton of 1-drops, be really aggressive, and then tempo your opponent out. Alright. Does it resolve? Do you not have Brazen Borer? No Brazen Borer. Okay. This is part of the problem though. They go like unblockable. They hit me down, but then I could attack in, but I still take the damage. Like I'm dead on the crackback. And you like drown in the Loch. Maybe I want like this figure. Yeah, it's not gonna do. Couldn't get to this Liliana in time. Yeah. Their life total's too high that there's like no reason for them to mistakenly block. Go one more. That one was quick. There's elements of this deck that aren't too bad, but times you kind of end up in this weird space. So no turn 1 play, please. No turn 1 play. Thought Erasure into Davriel is a nice kind of punch. Come on. Opponent's taking their time. You may want, like, if you're going to be playing best of 3, you want stuff like Cryocarnarium in there. Opponent probably got disconnected. Part of the reason every so often I'll close the client and reopen it. just gonna time themselves out. We'll fire up another one if this clocks out. Maybe we cut a castle, play an Ugin instead. Like, Ugin would be a nice way to get card advantage as well. We don't get enough life for, like, command the Dreadhorde to take their stuff. Yeah, opponent probably got disconnected from the client. I'll take the free rank up. Don't think I'll have enough to get the Mythic this month. I've been playing blue-white Control and Historic, which is a powerful deck, but it is not the fastest to win games. It's fine. Hope they lead on Fable Passage. Thought Erasure is good. Kind of in a predicament where still think we Thought Erasure here. Jeez, double Embercleave. Let's get rid of the Bone Crusher for now. Keep the land. We're going to want to keep them off creatures. Okay. Well, they got one card, there'll be 2 cards. I'm gonna do this now. I don't want him to draw 2 cards. We're gonna probably drown in the Lockham this turn. I don't want him to get any more card draw. And I don't want him to turn on Embercleave. Just get a Surveil going. Actually, don't think I want either of these right now. Fenlurker's not bad. We could Fenlurker and Murderous Rider. Actually, let's lead on this. And then go Fenlurker. Just in case we drew a drown in the Loch. There are 4 cards in graveyard, so this doesn't get cost reduction yet. Okay, they have Black Lance. We will take some damage here. So just soak up, it's a point, it's something. So it was an untapped land. Just trying to survive one more turn. Because they'll 8, we gain 5. That's enough. Yeah. Did the Bone Crusher. Would have survived with 1. Would have had them. That sucks. Too much early damage. I've liked this deck. We've been able to steal a couple games, which has been nice. We're 2-3. This hand's fine. Fenlurker, Fenlurker. If we need to Thought Erasure, we do. Opponent mulligan, so hopefully we could punish them. If they do show Esper, then I'm going to Thought Erasure them because I don't want them to get Teferi out. Mardu. Knights, okay. In that case, they can't Embercleave this turn, so we really just want to take the Embercleave from them. The meta might just be too aggressive. The fact like Embercleave invalidates chump blocking. So no blocks here. Actually not bad for the following turn. This gets rid of the last card in their hand. Got rid of a Murderous Rider. Icon of Ancestry is a good card to get rid of. So here I'm gonna kind of screwed if that's Embercleave. Do they just naturally? Okay. It's gonna be real annoyed if they just naturally drew into the Embercleave. Got 1 card in their library. This lets us block Worthy Knight and then drown in the Loch the Knight of Eben Legion. Kinda sucks. So, blocks them for a turn. They only hit us for 5. Like a Murderous Rider on the Worthy Knight. Gonna do this now only because I don't want him to get a cast trigger. We are playing that dangerous. Do they have an Embercleave game? Okay. This lets us block, eat away at their hand. That's another good one to get out of their hand. No 1-drop. No 1-drop, so we can steal it. They get a 1-drop. actually not bad. This might get them to overcommit. Because the problem is I can't, in case they draw something else, they go to combat first. I want him to get rid of the Acclaim Contender. Oh, that gets treated differently. You're 3 mana as well. I forgot that. Why did I think Acclaim Contender was 4 mana? Liliana doesn't quite do it here. Jeez. This is the one problem with discard sometimes. You draw the wrong half. Yeah, this tier might be just too aggressive for us to try to discard. This really is to play against like flash and control. If you're going to be running into knights, you need to drastically change. We need like cries and stuff. So there's ways to tweak it for like best of 3. I'm going to wrap this one up. Thanks everyone for stopping by and have a great one.